So the first method of sentiment analysis we're going to start with is known as rule-based or lexicon-based. This doesn't use machine learning, it just uses rules on which words are associated with each sentiment. For example, the word great is associated with positive sentiment and the word sad, negative sentiment. Each of the words gets a polarity score. This is then aggregated per sentence or piece of text to give an overall sentiment score. This method is easy to use and explain to others, but it often struggles to understand sarcasm or irony in text. We'll be comparing two packages that use slightly different rules for their polarity scores, TextBlob and Vader. So we have 4 sentences here. The first, I had a great time at the movie, it was really funny. Sentence 2, I had a great time at the movie, but the parking was terrible. Sentence 3, I had a great time at the movie, but the parking wasn't great. And sentence 4, I went to see a movie, is probably going to have a neutral sentiment. So let's first take the TextBlob package. So we'll take each of our sentences, print out the sentence, and then compute the sentiment score. To compute the sentiment score, it's really easy. You just use the TextBlob function, and then within the brackets, specify the piece of text that you want to analyse. We'll then print out the scores. The scores can be accessed from the sentiment by using .sentiment.polarity. So we can see here the text I had a great time at the movie, it was really funny, has been given a score of 0.525. The score can go up to 1 and can go to -1. Any number that's above 0 is a positive sentiment. So we can see here that because it's been given 0.5, it's kind of a mid-range positive sentiment score. Let's try it now with sentence 2. So we can see here sentence 2, I had a great time at the movie, but the parking was terrible, has been given a slightly negative score. So it's been given a score of -0.09. This is quite close to a neutral score, and it's not surprising given the ambiguous nature of the text. Now for sentence 3. This has been given a really positive score, more than the other 2 sentences, at 0.8. And now when we look at sentence 4, this has been given a polarity score of 0, so it's a truly neutral sentence, and I think that's the same way most humans would interpret this also. Now let's compare this against the Vader package. Like I said, Vader uses slightly different rules and different polarity scores for different words, so it'll be interesting to see how these same sentences are scored differently. We first want to import from Vader Sentiment the Sentiment Intensity Analyzer. We then initiate the Sentiment Intensity Analyzer and name it Vader Sentiment. So let's run through our sentences again. We're going to print out sentence 1, and then we're going to print out Vader Sentiment.polarity_scores, and within the brackets reference our sentence 1. Now you can see here the output is quite different from the TextBlob package. You get a score for each of the polarities. So for example, we can see that the negative has been scored 0, indicating this sentence has no negative sentiment in it at all. It's been scored 0.5 for neutral and 0.4 for positive. It then computes a compound score, which is the overall score for the text. Here we can see it's 0.8, and it's scored the same way as the other package. So the closer to 1 it is, the more positive, the closer to -1, more negative. So we can see here the Vader package has given a higher score to sentence 1 than the TextBlob package. Now let's do the same thing for sentence 2. We can see here that the overall score is -0.3, which again is more negative than the TextBlob package. Sentence 3 really differs between the two packages. So we can see sentence 3 by Vader has been given a negative score of -0.4, whereas when we use the TextBlob package, it was given the most positive score out of all the sentences of 0.8. So you can see how the Vader package might be slightly more advanced at picking up nuance within the text. Let's try this now on our neutral sentence, sentence 4. Again, we can see that this has been correctly identified as neutral. Both packages don't really seem to struggle with this. So when you're working with sentiment analysis, it might be worth just checking both different packages over a few of your sentences to just get a feel of which one is going to work better for the data that you've got.